and linebacker Shane Hartzell. Good morning, guys.
Morning, Rob. How are we doing today?
Good to see you guys. Mark, I'll start with you. Another great year. A year ago, 10-4, fourth playoff appearance in 6 seasons. Just talk about what's been the key to the consistency and keeping that high standard year after year.
Well, I think our guys have been coming in and, our staff and our players, our strength staff, everybody in the support group have just been doing a great job. They've been very consistent in their approach. We just try to get a little better every day, every play, and just try to go keep things moving forward. So we're fortunate to be able to, have pretty good roster consistency. Our guys have been staying and playing together for a long time. I think that helps the stability and consistency that we've been able to maintain here. Has helped with the recent success we've been having, and hopefully we can continue that moving forward.
Temi, certainly you have tons of experience as starter for 4 years for the Wildcats. What's the biggest thing you feel like you've learned over that time, and how are you able to use that experience to your benefit and advantage?
Have wonderful coaches that push us every day. Just being able to soak in every moment, every opportunity, from my sophomore year being thrown in the game at a position I've never played before, and having coaches that had the faith in me to get it done over the past few years have definitely been a big help. And I mean, as far as playing offensive line, it doesn't really matter what position you play. Offensive line is offensive line at the end of the day. And, being experienced playing 4 years, you know what to expect from defenses and what you're going to see. So, yeah.
Shane, congratulations to you. Certainly getting a lot of attention. All-America honors a year ago and a lot of preseason recognition this year after 121 tackles a year ago. As you come off a season like that, what are some of your goals for this season?
Yeah, thank you so much. Some of the goals I would say is just to continue where we left off last season and build on that. Every year we have guys leave and new guys coming in and guys that have to step up. So I think the goal is just continue to bring them up to speed and continue and continue where we finished off last year.
First media question for you this morning from David Melandro. Good morning, Dave.
Hey, Coach, got a couple questions for you. One, what is the main thing you can take away from last season going into this season?
Well, the main thing I take from last season is that it was last season. We're moving forward, Dave. We are, basically pushing the reset, putting it in the rearview mirror, and our guys want to make sure we come in. And as Shane mentioned, and as Temi already mentioned, every year from one year to the next is never the same. You're going to graduate some guys, you're going to bring some new guys in, so you really almost have to start over and start from scratch. So our goal and our mindset and our culture here is last year is last year. It's time to move forward. Our guys have been working hard over these 8-week cycle in the summer access training. They actually have their last workout tomorrow when summer school ends, and then they'll have a little bit of a break because we don't open up till the 6th. So we don't start camp till August 5th, which is a late start for us compared to previous years. But as far as, we're always striving to do what we can, getting a little better each day, a little better each play, and just try to continue to be as consistent as we possibly can in our performance and just try to do a great job with our preparation and, how we're trying to do things.
Can you just talk about some of the players you brought in from the transfer portal?
Yeah, we brought in a few guys. We dabble in that a little bit. We pretty much recruit the high school student athlete for the bulk of the season, and then we get to the end of the fall season. And depending on if we may have a guy leave or if we have some guys that graduate that haven't exhausted their eligibility, we start looking at maybe bringing in a couple grad transfers. And we did bring in a few this year. Caleb Moody's in his second year with us from Harvard. He plays in the secondary. He's a transfer guy that we got last year. We have Pat McQuaid, who came in this year. He came in mid-year. He's the only January mid-year guy we brought in from Nichols State down there at quarterback. And then we brought in some specialists. We brought in Luke Larson from East Carolina. He's a punter. We brought in Jack Barnum from Central Connecticut. He's a place kicker. So we've dabbled in the transfer portal a little bit and brought some folks in. And, but like I said, we pretty much prefer to bring our guys in from high school, start them out in a foundational level as freshmen and work their way up through and hopefully do a good job. We have another guy that we brought in, Luke Colella, a Princeton wide receiver who we brought in as well. So we have a handful of guys that we brought in as grad transfers, but we also have 18 new incoming freshmen that came from the high school ranks.
Final one for me. Do you think this season's going to be a little challenging and weird for you this year, knowing that you do not play Delaware for the first time in God knows how long, and then your final season in the CAA as well?
Well, like I said, I mean, we're focusing on the now as opposed to the, what's next or what's behind us. And, Delaware obviously no longer in the CA. That was always our final game, regular season rival game, and that doesn't exist this year. But our focus right now is finishing strong in our summer access training and getting ready for the opener, which is September 6th against Colgate. So that's kind of where our mindset is right now. So the future's the future, the past is the past. We're trying to live in the present.
And for the players, what can you guys take away from last year going into this season?
I mean, again, like last year is last year, and we have a whole new team coming in. So, I think just focusing on building the chemistry with the guys we have now and continue to build off last season.
Just like Shane said, I only played 4 games last year. So, didn't have much to contribute from a playing perspective, but just focused on this year and what I can bring to the team.
Next question for you guys from Azar. Go ahead, Azar.
Okay, thanks, Rob. Hey, Coach, how's it going?
Great, Azar. How are you?
Good, good. I know, as you always say, every season it's a new season, but I do want to bring up from last season. I think what was most impressive of your run last year was that you guys were undefeated at home. So if you could just talk about the strong presence that you had from home field advantage, because that clearly played a part in your success last year, and I'm pretty sure even though it's a new year, hopefully that carries on into this season.
Yeah, I kind of overheard the guys talking about it a little bit last year going into our final home game. They were aware of the fact that we didn't lose any games at home, and I did hear a couple locker room rumblings about, hey guys, we don't lose at home. So that was kind of their mindset going into that final home game. Our first game this year is at home against Colgate. So hopefully we have that same mindset going into the start of this year. But, what can I put my finger on as far as that's concerned? I don't know. Maybe just more comfortability. You're not traveling, you're a little more fresh. Who knows? But, we're going to, as every year, we're going to try to defend the home turf. You know what I'm saying? But we got to take that show on the road sometimes too. So you got to make sure you perform at a high level no matter where you're playing, who you're playing, and what time of the day you're playing. So, we try to take that same approach as you stated on the front end of your question. But we've been blessed that we have been able to, secure the home field advantage a little bit over the last year or two.
Okay. The next question I have, if possible, I can ask. You guys have had a winning culture. It's that's not a coincidence. And if one of the players, even after you answer this, wants to answer, allude to it too. What do you think the reason is? What have you implemented as far as culture wise that you guys have always been a winning culture? Whether you either been at the top of the conference, whether you've been in the playoffs, whether you finished with a winning season, even if it might have not looked as great as it started. What have you implemented in this culture to have the consistency to have winning seasons every year?
Well, now you're talking, that C word, right? The culture and the foundation and all the things that people talk about. And you hear a lot of people say similar things, maybe wording differently, but we do have some cultural, fundamental, ground floor things we talk about, being a great teammate, being unselfish, you know, um, being resilient, facing adversity. So our motto is no surprise to people. We have a thing called tap the rock. Now you got Coach Fleck out there, they row the boat. You got Coach Shiano, they chop the wood. So really it's saying the same thing, show up for work every day, keep tapping the rock, whether the results are there or not, but eventually the rock will break. That's kind of our mindset, that we developed a number of years ago that is just kind of on the base, ground floor, foundational level of things we talk about, and what Tap the Rock stands for. And we have a parable in our wall in the locker room. We have actually a rock that our guys will tap coming in and out of the locker room to have a visual, reminder of showing up, put in the work, face adversity, be resilient because it's never going to be a steady road. There's always going to be hills and valleys that you have to climb up and deal with. So, that's one of the things. We also talk about attitude, effort, and the little things, details, attention to details. That's something that was established through Coach Tucker and our strength staff. So our guys know about attitude, effort, and details. And then we have another one. Basically, it's play for each other and then play for everyone who came before us. So, your traditional aspect of the culture and things like that. So we just want guys, when we go out and recruiting, the three things we talk about is here's what we're looking for. We're looking for someone who wants to go to a school, get a quality education, become the best athlete he can become in the sport of football, and be a great person in his community. Give back, do volunteer things, and so on. And that's kind of how we start the whole thing with those three mantras, if you will: tap the rock, AED, attitude, effort, and details, and then play for each other. And, that's kind of how it all starts. And I think our guys kind of listen to that message and try to live that message.
Thank you, Coach. Did you guys want to add on to that, or did Coach say everything he needed to say?
No, the coach gave a complete message. He actually covered literally every single thing that you can possibly say regarding that. So,
Okay. All right. Thank you.
Temi, you guys have nearly your entire starting offensive line back from a year ago. How much does that continuity help? You also got a couple of, your main running backs back with David and Isaiah. How much does the continuity help as an offensive line to have so much familiarity?
it's just great knowing that you're being next to a bunch of guys who have experience. Last year wasn't our best year by any standard, but we're on to bigger and better things. We have a right guard in Chris McCullers and a right tackle in Kyle Fay that were two sophomores that stepped up last year, redshirt freshmen, and they were young, and they're learning the game, and they're still learning, but they're in a better position than they were last year, to be able to have soaked it up over a period of time, understand where they fell short and how they can become better. And then you got 4-3. You got 3 4-year starters or 4 3-year starters. Jake Picard, Stephon, and I. Me and Steph haven't had a lot of experience playing next to each other, but we know the game of football. And I haven't had a lot of experience playing next to Jake, but we got two all conference, Jake all American guy. So we have the ability to get it done.
Yeah, question for you guys from the Philadelphia Inquirer. Go ahead, Sydney.
Hey, Coach. Forgive me if this has already been addressed, but I'm curious what we can be looking for, who and what in that quarterback position for this upcoming year.
Yeah, we have a room full of guys that are competing. Obviously, Connor Watkins was our starter for the last 3 seasons. Tanner Maddox is the rising senior who's been the backup for those 3 years. And then Pat McQuaid, as I already mentioned his name earlier, is one of the transfer guys from Nicholls State. He was a 2-year starter down there. Coming out of spring, it seems to be those two that are still going head to head for that starting position. And we're going to carry that into preseason practice to see who will get the nod come opening game. But those are the guys right now that are probably, in the lead fighting for the starting position.
Thank you.
And Shane, I'll wrap up with you. Certainly, that defense at Villanova has been among the best in the country, but you and Brendan Bell have played a lot of snaps together side by side. Now with him gone and you guys losing some other guys that have played a lot of snaps on that defense, how is it going to be different for you, and how much of a leadership role have you had to take with some of the newer guys?
Yeah, we got a lot of talent in the room, right? We've had the same stars the past couple of years, so a lot of guys have been under us and watching film with us and working with us. And I mean, Richie Kimmel, he's still my roommate, so we've been in together a lot, and we've experienced a lot of snaps together. As far as some of the other guys, we just have to continue to bring them along. Like I said, there's a lot of talent in the room, so as soon as we can get the playbook clicking and get on the field, get some reps together, I mean, the chemistry will be there by the season.
Sounds good. Mark, Temi, Shane, thanks so much for doing this with us. It's good luck as your practice gets underway, and look forward to watching you guys play this season.
Thank you, Rob, and tell everybody at the office we said hello.
Oh, well, thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Rob.
Take care.